Hey, Bridging the Gappers. This is Laura Brandenburg. I'm the creator of Bridging the Gap and the author of How to Start a Business Analyst Career. And at Bridging the Gap, we help mid career professionals start careers in business analysis. We're a virtual training provider, and all of our courses are endorsed by IIBA and PMI, so they'll be part of your certification needs. Today, I wanted to pop in with really a special story that got shared up on the blog today and give you a little background behind it and share what I think are the five key takeaways. So, Maria, who asked that her last name not be shared on the blog, so we always respect that when we share career transition stories. But she emailed me a couple months ago and was so excited because she had gotten her first business analysis job offer. And she was so excited because she had gotten her first business analyst job offer. And I get those emails maybe once or twice a week, and I love receiving every one of them because it's so exciting to see somebody who has had that big goal for a long time and succeed at that goal. And so it's very fulfilling to me to get those emails. So if I have been any part, or Bridging the Gap has been any part of your career transition, please feel free to reach out and let us know a little bit more about it. I always reply personally to those emails. And the other thing we always do is ask if you're interested in sharing a little bit more of your story on the blog. And most people we never hear back from, but when we do, it's so special. And that means we get to share a little bit more story of that story with you. And it really helps, I think, to get an insight into how the different transitions happen, how people make the process work for them. And I learn a little bit from every one of those stories too, even after helping hundreds of professionals get started in their business analysis careers. Every story is a little bit different and something comes out of each of them. So I wanted to I have some notes because I don't want to ramble on and on about this, but I do want to talk about five things that you can take from Maria's story. And if you haven't read it yet, it's the first article up on the blog today, bridgingthegap.com, and I'll share a direct link to it in the comments once I'm done recording live. But the first thing that really jumped out when I read Maria's story was about her passion. So when I said, "Why did you choose to be a BA?" her answer was the passion, that she really was excited about being in the role, excited about growing in the role, and excited about what business analysts do. And that's really the fuel for all of us, right? Is to get up and love what we do every day. And so something to be thinking about. Last week, I shared a video about three reasons that you might like to be a business analyst. So that'd be something to check out if you're not sure if you really have that passion or what's in it for you in terms of business analysis. So think about that. Where does your passion lie? And is it business analysis, or would a different career be a better fit for you? And then second, she really took some time to recognize her skill set and to find a key gap. So she realized that BAs facilitate meetings, often at least with one other person, often more than that. I know BAs that facilitate 10 to 20 people meetings. Those aren't necessarily common, but that does happen. It's really common to have meetings with 3 or 4 people in them, and to really be the facilitator, the leader, the driver of that meeting. And she recognized she didn't, at that point, have the confidence to lead that meeting, right? And so that was a big insight to say, okay, that's something I'm going to need to do to be a business analyst, and it's not something I'm comfortable doing right now. But she didn't stop there. So I hear a lot of people that recognize that and say, maybe you never want to learn how to do that, and so a different career would be a better fit, but maybe you do. So what action can you take? And that's really the third key takeaway, is that I love that she took action. And it wasn't necessarily doing training. I didn't see anything in her story about specific training programs or specific learnings or kind of reading a bunch of books. I'm sure she did some of that, but she took action in her day-to-day job, and she made a commitment that every meeting that she was going to show up in, she was going to say at least one thing in that meeting. And how powerful is that? Because how do you get confidence? You get confidence by doing the work. You get confidence by making a choice to do something in a new way and then learning that it doesn't kill you, that it's okay, and you can do even more the next time. And the other thing she did to to gain confidence was join Toastmasters. And when Maria first sent in her story, she didn't have a lot to say about Toastmasters, and there was something like, as a BA, I read between the lines, right, in people's emails, even though I do a lot of collaboration via email for Bridging the Gap, always reading between the lines. And I was like, well, wait, there's something here, right? This was like not just a small part of your journey. I feel like it was a big part of your journey. Could you elaborate on this a little bit? So she did. There's a really special note in the blog post that I would encourage you to check out about the role that Toastmasters had, not only in her like preparation, but also in the actual job interview and kind of all throughout her journey into business analysis. And so I think that's a really valuable resource. And I've heard of other business analysts taking advantage of that opportunity in their local communities as well. And if that's something you have available to you, I definitely recommend checking that out as a way to get engaged. Actually, just heard back from this post this morning. Tamina, one of our time readers and clients and customers, has an IBA Toastmasters group starting in New York. So if you are in New York, definitely look that up as an option too. And she was going to share that article with the Toastmasters group IIBA in New York. So it sounds like a really cool overlap between business analysis and Toastmasters. Okay, so step 4 though. So we talked about her passion for the role, recognizing a skill set and some gaps that she needed to work on, taking action, so important. You don't have to be like anointed with the opportunity. You just have to decide to do something different today or tomorrow. And number 4, my thought about the key takeaways was that she took a leap and applied for the position. So how many of us have like looked at jobs and said, oh, that looks like a really cool job. I think I could do it. I'm not sure. And then let it go, right? And then something else more pressing comes up and we don't do it. And this is an internal job within her organization that was a step up in her career. And she took the leap and she did it. And she prepared and she talked about how Toastmasters helped her really have clear and concise responses in the interview too, and not ramble on. Which maybe I should I could use a benefit of some of that for these live streams. I feel like it gets so fun and collaborative that I can kind of go on for a while, but they are totally fun and I love doing them. Okay, so taking that leap and applying and being willing probably to say here no, here yes. You never know unless you ask, and so you have to take that leap. And even if you hear no, you can recover and adjust and do something new. When you hear yes, that leads to the next great opportunity, which is what happened for Maria. And finally, just that point about being prepared and confident in interview. And so I think a lot of times, if you haven't interviewed in a while, I hear a lot of business analysts that like they want to know what every possible question is that they could be asked. They want to know how to answer those questions. And there's this sense of preparing that goes into memorizing answers and kind of preparing really detailed answers to specific types of questions. And that's not really the approach that I've seen work best. What works best is to rely on your business analyst skills and definitely to prepare, to think of what kinds of questions that you might be asked, but to really also be a business analyst, to ask follow-up questions, make sure you understand the question, be confident in the interview, explain your experience, talk about your experience, and really just treat it as a conversation where you're learning more about the company, they're learning more about you, and do your best to talk in as much detail as you can about the experience and all the wonderful things that you've done for organizations in the past. And we have an interview prep guide that walks you through that process, and we have a much more detailed course that walks you through preparing for the business analyst job interview in that kind of way. It's not memorize 100,000 questions kind of way. It's come up with some answers that you're probably going to use to the vast majority of questions you'll create or that you'll hear in the interview, and go in ready to have a conversation about your qualifications. So, those are the 5 things that I really wanted you to take away from Maria's story. She's really done an awesome thing sharing her story with us. Check out her words on the blog. They're all hers. And I would love to hear what you think about that, what questions you have about any of the takeaways I had, what takeaways maybe you have from her story that I didn't touch on today. Again, my name is Laura Brandenburg. I'm the creator of Bridging the Gap, and I'm the author of the best-selling book, How to Start a Business Analyst Career. And Bridging the Gap, we are a virtual training provider helping mid-career professionals get started as business analysts. Thanks so much for being with me today, and I will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.